Many locals and students associate the downtown area of Santa Cruz with homelessness. One of these reasons is because of the amount of panhandling that occurs down here. Businesses are also beginning to notice the problem.
I'm not entirely sure if the people that panhandle down here are homeless, because it's a lot of the same people and I see them elsewhere. I definitely feel that people hanging outside of the stores deters customers from coming in, especially when they're smoking or asking for money. And people who sit outside our store with signs and stuff asking for money, that definitely deters people from coming in.
Well, the panhandling, I think they're kind of aggressive sometimes, and they're not really nice. Yeah, I do think most of the panhandlers are homeless.
To find out more, I interviewed Keith Haltaway, the executive director of the Downtown Association.
And I think, again, confusing panhandlers with people who don't have a house to live in, or quote homeless, is not always an accurate connection and not always 100% true. There's a lot of people who panhandle downtown, a lot of kids who literally take the bus back to their house up wherever they need to go. Most of the people who are homeless aren't downtown panhandling. It's just a very small group that would do that. Most of the people who are homeless are living in cars with kids, and I mean that's a very sad situation, and those are the folks that really need a lot of help. You don't see those folks downtown.
But the county's problem is not centered downtown. Homelessness is a growing issue in Santa Cruz County, with numbers staggering at over 3,400. There simply isn't enough funding. And with shelters closing for spring and summer, including the National Guard Armory, which provided nearly 100 beds, many people are left with no place to stay. According to the 2005 Santa Cruz County Homeless Census and Survey, there are a total of 3,371 homeless in Santa Cruz County, including 187 families and 171 children. With shelters turning away a quarter of applicants and others closing for spring, many are forced to stay in abandoned buildings, parked vehicles, or even on the streets. Ken Cole, the executive director of the Homeless Services Center, had this to say.
The Homeless Services Center is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to providing emergency services and trying to give people opportunities to move up and out of their homelessness. We have 4 major programs. One is an open day center where we provide meals and showers and basic assistance to people just on a walk-in basis. We also have an overnight emergency shelter program through local churches and the National Guard Armory in the rainy season. We also have a transitional housing program where people can stay up to 2 years to get jobs and move off the streets. And our latest program is a family emergency shelter. We operate the National Guard Armory as an emergency shelter. We have to close that every year in late March or mid-April. And the way I describe it is like driving off a cliff. That's what it feels like. And to the hundreds of homeless people that use that shelter over the wintertime, it makes no sense. You know, 1 minute the bed's there, the next minute I'm telling them it's gone. But any way you look at it, on the emergency services level, there's not enough beds, there's not enough opportunities for people on the street. We have really just a pittance of emergency capacity in this community.
The county has been acknowledging this growing issue, but with limited resources and funding, there is little they can do, and the problem will remain unresolved. To find out ways you can help, you can visit www.scshelter.org. This is Christina Bishai reporting for Banana Slug News. Back to you in the studio.